Welcome to the Archie McPhee Let's Talk More Monkey podcast. This is David Wall, the director of Awesome. Today I'll be joined by Shauna Danger, the high priestess of rubber chickens, and Scott Heff, creator of Kitsch, to talk about the Yodelling Pickle, a plastic pickle that when the button on it is pushed, it yodels. What's not to understand? I apologize. In today's podcast, there is also clearly the sound of a lawnmower going on in the background at some points. We will be more careful about this in the future. Thank you for your patience and understanding. The Yodeling Pickle.
Yes!
Yay!
The year 2006. I looked up no historical events in 2006, but I'm sure many important things happened in 2006.
I don't remember any of them.
I know, but I do remember the Yodeling Pickle contest. Which
that was the only important event of the year, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure. And we had a contest to get a yodel for our Yodeling Pickle. And the prize for that contest was a $200 gift certificate and 100 rubber chickens.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of rubber chickens.
Mm-hmm. And when you get paid in rubber chickens, you know, that's an investment. You know, we all wish we'd had 100 rubber chickens in 2006 ourselves. Where would we be now? That
would be like 175 rubber chickens in today's rubber chickens.
Yeah, what? $10 a pop? That's quite a price.
Yes. And it was a case. So he got a case of rubber chickens delivered to his house. And it was won by Joe J. Thomas, voice actor extraordinaire. You recognize his voice from many movies, video games, and TV shows, commercials. He's all over the place. And of course, his claim to fame is the Yodeling Pickle, which he didn't get paid for, except in rubber chickens and a gift certificate to Archie McPhee. But I recommend going to his blog, which I will link to in this, because he says that he actually did not know how to yodel, and he just downloaded a booklet on how to yodel and taught himself that day. And yodeled,
specifically for the contest.
For the contest.
Wow.
Yodeled and won. And that was it. We got lots of entries. I would say we got like 20 entries, and most were pathetic.
Whoa.
If it was 2007, I wouldn't use that word. Because people's feelings would still be hurt.
Were there some professional yodelers that submitted?
Yes. And a lot of the professional yodelers went long. So when they did a yodel, they did like 25, 30 seconds of yodeling, which we had specified. We wanted a short yodel, but they couldn't hold themselves back. So they were doing like a piece from a yodel song, not just a yodel.
Yeah.
It sounds like arrogance was their downfall to me.
Damn.
Man, we harshed out on this Yodeling Pickle thing.
But I have to say, with all contests we've ever had, the downfall has been not following instructions.
That is true.
All you have to do is follow the instructions. You have a much better chance.
Do you know the best contest we ever had?
What?
Was very early on in the internet. It was like 1999. And we had a contest that was build us a new homepage and host it on your own site.
Wow.
That's
bold.
So people designed a new Archie McPhee homepage with all the links on it on their own website. And I was like,
oh dear.
I basically just tricked. That's totally against Google rules now. They would be like, you can't pay people to put an Archie McPhee homepage on their website. And the person who won was so proud he kept it up for like 10 years.
Wow.
And the best one before that was show us your best cackle, which was just at the store.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was a cackling contest. People had to cackle for prizes.
Did they follow the rules for the cackling contest?
No, because, you know, sometimes people just end up giggling or chortling. The cackle is a difficult one.
Did any professional cacklers come in?
Well, we didn't tell people in advance. We just sprung it on them. So the cacklers missed their opportunities. They were bummed.
Okay.
We got contacted by so many cacklers who said, I could have won.
I have to ask you to cackle.
Me?
I don't know what a cackle is. Like, I was trying to distinguish in my head what a cackle would sound like.
I can't do it.
Like,
could you do it half seriously?
No.
Like, if someone said it, I was like, that was a cackle.
All right, I got to think about
Especially
this.
not
Like,
on command.
Wow.
That's a good cackle.
That's just like top of my head cackle. I could probably develop it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's a contest winner, but I could probably place.
It's a contender.
So
Yeah.
you think there's a witch-like aspect to a cackle?
Yes,
though.
absolutely.
And I've never heard of the cackle contest before.
Really?
I've never heard that story before.
Oh, that was a story
Neither have I.
event. I mean, it was part of a story event. We had other things going on, and show us your best cackles was one of them. It was a crazy day.
It was crazy times. I know our haiku contest was a disaster.
What?
Yeah, that was
Oh, for the public.
for the public.
Our internal haiku contests
Oh,
have
they
been
were always
excellent.
good. Yes.
We usually do it on either ice cream day or pajama day. Pajamas and haiku and ice cream. And your haiku had to be about ice cream or pajamas.
So since I've started
Have you?
working here,
Were you here for any of that? Heck?
no, that's what I was going to say. Is since I've started working here, we haven't had a whole lot of public contests.
We had a caption contest just a couple weeks
that was
ago.
internal though.
Yeah, internal. These are
Oh
internal.
yeah, I'm talking about public
Oh,
contests.
public contests. Yeah.
We don't really do public contests, creative public contests. We'll give away, like we did one on Twitter. Not
Sure,
too
like
long
a
ago.
giveaway.
A giveaway. We
Yeah,
did.
the photo.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the yodeling pickle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe Thomas won the
Mhm.
contest, and we actually did not make the yodeling pickle the first yodel product. Did you know what that first yodel product was, Hef? Shauna knows because we just talked.
I'm gonna
about
guess.
I
it
know
was like
because
a
I know the
button.
whole. I do know the story of the
Yeah.
yodeling pickle all the
Yeah.
way.
Was it
through.
one of those big buttons that we do? The sound.
it. No,
No.
Okay.
it was a remote-controlled lederhosen.
Ah,
Remote-controlled hopping
okay, that sounds
lederhosen.
familiar.
And
Yeah.
the best part about the remote-controlled hopping lederhosen is not the lederhosen or the hopping, but the fact that the remote was a bratwurst.
Yeah. And strangely enough, that product wasn't very popular.
It was not
What?
very
And
popular.
it was pretty big too, physically. You know, it was a pretty big pair of
Have you seen
Bavarian
it
folk
before, Hal?
pants.
I think I've seen a video, but it's been a long time. So David Wall just showed me a picture of it. So I'm confused.
Yeah,
So you would push the
we were all.
button.
That was part of the problem.
You would push go on the bratwurst,
Uh-huh.
Yes.
and then the lederhosen would start hopping
Dancing and hopping.
Yeah.
on their
and
own.
yodeling.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
what would happen? Okay.
Yes.
And
That's cool.
It's
I
really
mean, it's
funny
great.
that was our first remote control item, as well as our first yodeling or sound chip item
Yeah,
at
that
all.
was our first sound item at all.
And then it was a yodeling pair of lederhosen. That was a very weird concept.
You got to test the market, with something
Well,
solid.
The Bavarian folk pants had a basis for popularity because we had the wind-up lederhosen, which were extremely popular. So I think
Okay.
we at that time you couldn't keep those in stock, and we thought, well, what if they just you didn't have to wind them up? What if you
Yeah.
just pushed a button and they went?
we automated
Yeah.
the lederhosen.
Applied to
But
the.
it turned out people
our lazy
really
natures.
stuck with they wanted to go old school and do it themselves. And we still have the regular wind-up lederhosen.
We do.
Still carry that item.
We do.
But yeah, the wind-up lederhosen, the remote control lederhosen is over.
So
Sadly.
when you did sound chips in 2006, 2007, you had to do probably like 20,000 chips at a time.
Yes.
And we could
Mm.
not sell that many remote controlled yodeling lederhosen.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot.
we had a stack of chips.
So,
And-
and I was at that meeting, by the way,
Yes.
where Mark said, okay, here's the problem. We've got this many lederhosen, but we have way too many sound chips. So what else
Wow.
could yodel?
Yes. And I got a customer complaint right around then because we had discontinued a squeak pickle that we had sold years before. And so I thought, hey, since we can't do the little squeak mechanism in the pickle anymore.
Because the squeaker became illegal, the
Yeah.
exact type of squeaker. And that was a little 50-cent squeaking pickle. It was a cheapy thing. So yeah, that wasn't a good quality
No,
squeaker like
no.
you have now. So that was what I love too, is that this was based on something like totally a weird little off,
So it was a choking hazard, the old squeaker.
Yes.
And it
Okay.
was just bad quality. It was
Yeah.
just like a little cheapy
It was,
thing.
yeah, and it wasn't. We didn't design it. We
No,
didn't
no,
make
it was just something we bought somewhere
You
else.
know how that goes, where you're like, oh yeah, these are cool, and then it's like,
Not so good.
not so good. But but we knew the public was hungry for noise-making pickles. So
There was a precedent.
so I emailed Mark, what if we put the yodel chip in a pickle And he emailed back, yes. That was the whole email
Obviously.
exchange.
Yeah.
Just yes.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of the Yodeling Pickle.
And that item became the top item of certainly of that year. And I think at least a couple more years, the top item. And we had people coming in for that Yodeling Pickle. We had to have literally barrels of them in the store, putting hundreds out at a time. And it was the white elephant gift of the season.
They were a big deal, is what you're saying.
Ah!
I'm sorry.
Wait, and while we're talking about it, let me just do the yodel once so that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way a pickle yodels, ladies and gentlemen. So and it was everywhere that year too. Like it was on TV.
Yep.
It went viral, as much viral as you could go in 2006. It went viral.
Mm-hmm.
At its highest point in terms of kitschy weirdness, Kathy Lee Gifford had it on the whatever show it was then. I don't think it was Kathy.
Regis and Kathy
Lee. Yeah, Kathy Lee had it on, and she made up a pickle song called "Nothing Beats the Singing Pickle," and sang that song to the Yodeling Pickle. And then
kind of seemed like you're about to sing it.
I don't know the song. And then that video is not online. And then 6 years later, they had it on the show again, and she acted as if she'd never seen it before.
Oh. Do you think she was acting, or do you think she had forgotten it?
I think she blanked it out.
Yeah.
It was too traumatic. You know how that happens with people. So that happened, and it was going along fine. The Yodeling Pickle.
Things were going along just fine.
Things were going along great. And then rock band The Gorillaz steps in.
Mm-hmm.
The Gorillaz, huh?
Do you know this?
I think I've heard this story, yes.
So I have to ask. I didn't know if you had just not.
I have heard it, yeah.
So I get contacted by someone on the Gorillaz management team and say they would like to use a sample of the Yodeling Pickle in a song that they want to give away for free on their fan site. Would that be okay? And I said, yes, as long as it's for free.
Yeah.
That is fine.
Because we're cool like that.
Because we're cool and it's good. And so they did. They released a track on their fan album called Seattle Pickle. And to our surprise, it's just the pickle yodeling in a round.
Oh. It wasn't like sampled into, and they put a beat behind it, or like.
It was the yodel from the pickle pressed enough so that it did like a round, like we would do with row, row, row your boats, where it would pick up and do.
And it's so weird too, because I always was looking for, well, where's that Gorillaz song that I keep waiting to hear? And it's like, oh, that's why I never actually heard it.
It's just the yodel.
It's just the yodel.
Okay.
Yeah. And
wow. Gorillaz.
So
gets worse.
We were fine with that. Like, whatever.
Okay.
Then they released it on a paid album, the Seattle Yodel thing, which they which they didn't talk to us about. But we're still, I'm not going to complain. But you know, we're not rolling in dough from it.
Yeah, we still got a big old goose egg from it.
So then, we get copyright violation notices from YouTube on our video of the Yodeling Pickle because their record company copyrighted it. I had to fight YouTube to get it back on. And so then we made a weird music video for their song to piggyback on to the whole thing and let people know that the Yodeling Pickle was a thing. Because they just called the song Seattle Yodel, not Yodeling Pickle.
Right. That is bizarre, especially the part with the YouTube where now YouTube picks up our videos that has our Yodeling Pickle and says, hey, you can't use this because this is the Gorillaz.
Super uncool.
That's terrible.
Super uncool, man.
Yeah, but I don't think the Gorillaz knew anything about it.
Right. I'm sure they didn't personally like, let's screw Archie McPhee
No,
over.
I'm sure we would love to have the Gorillaz come into the store, and it's very cool. You know, no ill will. It was just funny because it was just
and it's such a strange way to see how cycles work, how things like that work and take place.
So sorry, clarify. So then you said, well, then we're going to take your song that is just our pickle, but your song, and we're going to make our own little video to it.
Right.
To bring awareness.
Well, to kind of, because so many people were looking it up on YouTube under their song name.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, let's pull it back a little bit to us since they're using it for free. At least we should profit in the sense of selling more pickles from this, because they didn't even identify the source of the pickle yodel.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no concert where they went up on stage with multiple pickles and did the song.
Yeah.
They just did it as a sample. So we did a really weird video, which I'll put up on the podcast page. So that was 2010. Just a memory of 2010. And then in 2013, we introduced International Yodeling Pickle Day, which didn't stick.
I actually forgot about that.
I just looked in my mail.
Oh,
so I was here for that, but I have no memory of that.
Whoopsie. Can we bring it back? Is it too late?
That was, I believe, a Daniel holiday.
Oh, right. There was a dance that went with it.
There was a dance.
That's right. Now I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We have the dance somewhere. Amy did the dance outside the store. Oh, right. And we also had a bunch of other pickle things. We had bobbing for pickles. It's all coming back to me now. We really did have a bobbing for pickles.
We went to all the trouble of creating a fake holiday.
Yeah, and then we completely forgot.
And then just did it 1 year only.
Right.
Yeah.
We did it one time.
That's pretty hipster.
But it was it was a good event. If you said you wanted another public event, didn't you? Another public contest or something? But this has something to it.
Well, here's the problem. It's March 26th is the day that it happened.
That gives us plenty of time to get it going again.
Yeah. But it was in the middle of a lot of other holidays.
No. I think we could do it.
When's Archie McPhee's birthday?
Wait, why was March 26th chosen as Yodeling Pickle Day?
Daniel was bored. And Daniel's awesome. And
Daniel, who worked at the store.
Who worked at the store.
Okay.
He was awesome, and he just took it upon himself and made this crazy thing. I remember a Photoshop picture of Daniel like in an alpine outfit on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
With one of those giant horns. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah.
I do think that should be one of
alpine
the perks to working at Archie McPhee, is that you can have some leeway to just say, let's make up a day, or let's create something here.
Yes. And
I remember there was an issue with all those bobbed for pickles too.
Ew. The germs. My mom wouldn't let me bob for apples as a kid. Whenever we went to a Halloween party, she's like, "You're not bobbing for apples," because she's kind of afraid of germs.
But isn't that washing your face at the same time?
I don't know.
Well, you know how good pickle juice is for you.
Is it?
It's exfoliating from the high salt content. So that was the basic yodeling pickle thing. But we have had also celebrities with the yodeling pickle. We'll have to say we recently sent Stephen Fry.
Yes, that was a real
cool.
thrill.
Yeah.
I got a direct message from Stephen Fry on Twitter, and we were able to send him a box of stuff. We had to include the screaming scream, because it's Shauna's scream.
No, wait, real quick on Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
Why did we send one in the first place? Wasn't there a reason?
Tweeted.
Yes, he tweeted
about the pickle.
He tweeted a picture of it or something. Or
He said
Yeah.
It was
he initiated the yodeling pickle contact, and so we sent him.
Hold on, I'm reading.
Right.
I don't know what a yodeling pickle is. All I know, I want one in an instant, absolute, and foot stamping Veruca Salt kind of way.
Oh.
So good.
Really wanted one.
So good.
Which he also, I have to say, he's posted our products before. I guess Carrie Fisher used to give them.
Oh, yeah.
So when she died, he posted a picture of a shelf of things that she'd sent him, and our Jane Austen action figure was on it, and a couple other things too, which was so sweet.
Yeah,
that is sweet.
Yeah, really sweet.
Yep.
Well, and actually, you just mentioned my scream, but remember, we did a spinoff of the yodeling pickle, which was the screaming pickle, which had my scream.
And then there were so many screaming chips left over
that we had to do the screaming scream.
Well,
you've heard how good my cackle is. You can't believe how good my scream is.
We used the yodel sound effect in, as Hef mentioned, the emergency yodel button.
Okay, so there was a yodel button that was just a button,
Yes.
but it came after the yodeling
It was
pickle.
way after.
Okay.
We had all these chips left.
We've still got 10,000 chips.
It was like we're gonna hit this yodel thing hard.
Well, you know what happens? You end up with a bunch of pickles that have no chips, and then you have to make more chips, and then it just goes on and on.
The cycle.
Yeah.
The
And
cycle.
do you want to also, the other funny thing that stands out to me is about how we decided to spell yodeling.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a lot of talk about whether there's one L or two L's, and both are legit, but we went with the two L's, and that's been one of those things where people like to
It's
correct
a sticking point.
Yeah, it's a sticking point.
So I have a story. So
Oh.
speaking of public contests, so when I applied to
Yes.
work here, when you guys said, "Hey,
Oh yes.
we are hiring for a graphic designer,"
Oh yeah.
send in a resume and a cover letter and redesign our Yodeling Pickle package
That's right.
as part of your submission.
That's
In a really
right.
basic way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't.
yeah.
So I had to redesign.
I'm trying to remember what your design looked like.
Well,
Do you still have it?
I'm sure I have it somewhere
Yeah.
in my email.
Let me guess. Was it a barrel?
There was no barrel on there.
Oh, no barrel.
No. In fact, I didn't get the job.
Because that's because you didn't have a barrel.
I didn't have a barrel. I didn't get the job. I ended up getting a job a couple months later after that. So I guess I was persistent enough. But so that's how that shook out.
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
funny. Yeah,
That
I do remember that. That was kind of a contest with people showing
Of
the different
sorts.
pickle.
in a way, we just wanted to see if people actually understood our products, because obviously you can tell from someone's work whether or not
Yeah.
they're good at their job. But it was one of those things where it's like, just arrange these 5 things in a way that was
So what comes to
appealing
mind?
to
Yeah.
people.
Oh, and
Well,
the
Yeah.
reason I brought that up, because I jumped right in with that, is that was a sticking point for me when I went to redesign the package, and I was
Oh.
like, I think yodeling is just one L. Should I put 2?
Right.
Should I correct
Was
it,
that
or
part of
should
the
I?
test?
Yeah, like I didn't know what to
Well-
do. I think I stuck with 2, which was obviously the right move.
It was
Except
the
I
right
didn't get the
move.
job that time, so maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, but I wonder, this thing where people don't follow directions. I wonder if you followed all of the directions. Hef.
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
I didn't.
I mean, David Wall just said there were 5 things. Do you know if you included 5 things?
I don't remember.
Ooh.
I don't remember. It was I had never designed a package, so I'm sure it wasn't like, created in the right way. It was kind of just like, here's what it would look like a mock-up, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like an actual package design.
No.
And I also should point out that none of the packages you received as the entries, it's not like we've used them. It's still the same package that we've had
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes. And it's hard when you hire for here to know that people actually understand what we do. So that was the thing. I don't think we would do that contest again in that way. I didn't like, because of course people were like, "Well, you're asking for free work."
Right.
And in our
Right.
mind, we weren't really asking for free work. We were just saying, "Oh, rearrange like these various aspects into an appealing manner so that we could see you kind of understand what we're doing." And that's why we were saying most people added a barrel. They were like, when you think of a package for a pickle, it should be in the shape of a barrel.
right.
It was a little
That's
literal.
that's the people who have a great design mind, but not so much a retail mind.
Yes.
Because barrels don't work in retail.
Barrels do not work in retail.
Ah.
So
Yes.
you probably were on the right track, really. The whole
I think
time,
it didn't cross my mind, but
But you've really designed a lot of beautiful things since then.
Thank
so.
you.
Yes, and I will also have to say that one of the other reasons it caught a second wind was George Takei posted about it too. He did an Amazon review
Oh, nice.
of it and a video,
Mhm.
and it kind of went through. Either he or his writers posted a saucy review of it. in,
Those
his,
saucy pickle reviews.
in his George Takei way.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Yeah, you do the
A
good.
yodeling pickle. Ooh.
Yes.
So
And you do have a picture of George Takei in your office.
I do.
Famous fencing picture.
Yes, him in his fencing outfit from the Star Trek episode where they all go crazy.
When they're right.
Oh.
And then that's, what do you call that wall? Your wall of awesome?
Yes.
So it's basically George Takei
Yes.
me, a squirrel astronaut,
My wife's mom.
your mother-in-law.
My mother-in-law.
Um,
Well, I don't want to get into all of it.
yeah, but it is a wall of strange assorted things that I guess are awesome
Yes.
in their
They're
own different
all
ways.
Awesome. It is it's a strange wall. There's a picture of me on it.
Isn't there like a Mona Lisa that maybe your nephew drew?
My
or
nephew
something?
Owen drew the Mona Lisa next to Doctor Who's TARDIS for me, which I love.
Yeah.
That's up in the wall of awesome. I have lots of little things up there, and I think also at one point I went on a rant, which I'm famous for my rants, and I went on a rant about a signed Chris Angel photo that was on that was on Amazon for like $150.
What? Wow.
And I was like, who wants that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it would be that hard to get Chris Angel's autograph, and it's $150. And so Jason actually printed it out from the Amazon thing and blew it up to full frame and framed it and put it on my wall.
That's a fake?
It's a fake. It's not real. Because I was like, you could just print that picture out. And he's like, I could just print that.
And I will. There you go.
Hello, wall of awesome.
Hello, wall of awesome. So, yes.
All this time I thought you were just a huge Chris Angel fan. But too cheap to buy the
Mind freak.
Yeah.
Autographs. Just print out the picture of one from the internet. It's just as good.
That's something I would do anyway.
Speaking of which, we should say if anyone's famous out there, send us your picture with an autograph and a message to Archie McPhee for the Wall of Fame.
Yes,
in the store.
So thank you for mentioning that, because that is one of the funnest things, is having these pictures on our Wall of Fame at the store. And we were just talking about how years ago we did that in our catalog. We asked famous people, "Hey, are you famous?" And
Yes.
a customer send us your picture, and that's how we got Shields and Yarnell. Hef, do you even know who Shields and Yarnell are?
Bam.
I don't. I didn't know if you were saying Shieldson, last name
Shields?
Larnell.
It's
No.
two people.
Shields
And Yarnell.
Oh, Yarnell. Okay, no, I don't know who that is.
Mime couple.
They are a famous mime
Oh.
couple who had a strange mime variety show in the 70s.
Yep.
And
Wow.
they, aside from Marcel, they are the most famous mimes as far as I know.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Which will tell you that mimes aren't famous because Hef had never heard of them.
have you heard
Right.
of Marcel?
I have,
Okay.
yes.
So they're the second most famous.
Second most famous
But
mimes.
probably quite a bit lower.
So that was, and
saw it on TV
we
show.
received 2 things from our calling out in the catalog. Do you remember what the second one was? Now, I'm going to have to think of his name.
Barney Miller.
Yes. So on the show Barney Miller,
Wow.
there's the guy who plays the cop rather than the detective. And he sent us a 1977 Barney Miller calendar that he signed to us.
Wow.
And his name is, starts with an R, I know.
Ron Carey.
Ron Carey, that's what it is.
Hmm.
And so Ron Carey sent us a 1977 Barney Miller calendar. And so we have that and the Shields and Yarnell autograph that we added. You know, we already had others, but these were the 2 that we did from the calling out in the catalog. It's funny.
He also sent us an audio cassette of his Vegas act,
Wow.
which lived back in mail order for years and years.
That you would
All
just play?
During the Christmas season,
Yeah.
we would play Ron Carey's
Yeah, Ron
act.
Carey. So
Cool.
isn't that awesome? I love that he sent the calendar. That was a really
It was
neat touch.
awesome.
And it's not like
Yeah.
it was, I mean, it was at that time, 20 something years old. So
Yeah, it was
it
great.
was
And
very cool.
I have a question about
R.I.P. Ron Carey.
Shields and Yarnell. Do you think they met because of mime,
Oh.
or do you think they grew into mime together as a couple?
Hmm.
I guess they would have to have done it beforehand.
I don't know.
I bet they met because of mime.
I think so. They must have.
Yeah, because they probably took a mime class together or went on some mime retreat.
They went on a mute date.
Maybe they were like nemesis. Like,
Oh.
they were both,
Enemy mime.
Oh.
competing for the
That
spotlight.
that could be. And then they decided they were sort of ruining each other's careers, and why not get together and build each other's careers
Yeah.
instead?
Well, all that
That's true love.
passion, if you hate someone with a passion, that passion can turn into love.
Why is it so quiet in here? Those two won't stop fighting.
So if you are as famous as Shields and Yarnell or Ron Carey,
we would love a picture, a signed picture.
A signed picture to us.
With specifically a message to Archie McPhee, because I don't want someone out there to like clean out their drawer and they just have a signed picture of Chris Angel and they're like, I'm Chris Angel and I'm a fan of Archie McPhee.
No printing things from the internet and sending them and pretending to be somebody famous like Shields and Yarnell.
What's the most famous person you have on the
There's
Wall
some
of Fame?
famous ones. Well, we have a couple from a variety of sources. I mean, Alex Trebek is one.
Yep.
And we also have Bobby Brady. Who's Mike Lookinland, and
didn't he have an animal?
Chris. So Mike Lookinland came into the store with his family, and we didn't know for a minute who it was, and but he looked really familiar. And then we saw his, card or whatever it was, or his ID or something, and it said Mike Lookinland, which you always remember that name from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, that really is him. And then secondly, he had his son with him who looked just exactly like Bobby Brady. So the kid looked just like how you remember Bobby Brady. And then he was the dad. And they were traveling, going to all the state parks in America with their pet duck.
Whoa.
Do you know this story?
No.
So they had their duck with them. And so it was such a fun little treat because there's Bobby Brady with his beautiful family, really sweet, and going to all the state parks.
Which
with
is
their
awesome
pet ducks.
too.
It's like traveling the country. It's the cutest.
That's like a Griswold moment.
Yeah. So small world too.
Yes.
I grew up in Utah.
Right, of course.
And I've never confirmed this, but the rumor was he lived within 10 minutes of my house. There was this house, and people were like, that's where Bobby Brady lives. Guy who played Bobby Brady.
Yeah, I think, he definitely did live in Utah.
Okay, well, there you go. It's probably true.
And the another famous person we had who kind of related to that was Chris Partridge, the guy who played Chris Partridge. So we had both the youngest of the Brady Bunch and the Partridge family in the store. And he was funny because I was talking with someone at the store about famous people and wishing we had somebody famous come into the store for our Wall of Fame. And somebody said, well, if you look around, there's somebody famous right now. Wow. And it was the person that was with him. And I looked around and I was like, oh, wait a second. And it was the guy who played the youngest Partridge family member. And weirdly, we had the People magazine in our break room that had a picture of him in it. So I went running, grabbed that People magazine, brought it back down, and had him sign it too.
Well, speaking of the Partridge family,
yes,
because Danny Bonaducci lives here now.
Yes, and he shops at the store sometimes.
Yeah. So do you have a picture of him?
No, not yet.
But he comes in sometimes.
Yes.
Well,
he does come in.
He's a fan too.
I know, and I haven't ever met him yet. I haven't
met him either. I would like to meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does come into the store. Several times he's come in.
That's great. And my favorite celebrity spotting of yours is you know who I'm going to say. You know who I'm going to say.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're going to say Pat Jenkowitz.
You hit it dead on.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like there's a story there.
Okay, so there is a story.
Can't stop
there. There is a story there because we had this really cool customer who I never knew his name, but he used to come into the store not that often, but he was always so cool and distinctive looking and everything. We always remembered him.
Super tall.
Yeah, very tall. And he came in sometimes with family members, and he would come in probably once every 6 months or something. Not that often, but we always remembered him. And then, so cut to me having insomnia in my house one night, about 3 a.m. I just was watching TV, and it was Fight Club. And I spotted our regular customer in Fight Club.
Wow.
And I was like, oh no, oh my God. So
in the scene with Meatloaf.
Yeah, in the fight scene. Yeah. And so I waited. I bided my sweet time, and I just kept waiting for him. I knew he would come back into the store, and months went by. And finally I saw him come in, and I went running up to him and I said, are you in Fight Club? And he told me yes, and I was the first one who'd ever spotted
Recognized him.
Yes.
Wow.
And we've been fast friends ever since. And he's always been a friend to the company. And his brother Don is also in Fight Club.
Who's awesome as well.
Who's also awesome.
Yeah.
And, now that I know the whole family, you could spot them in Fight Club, both of them. And Pat's in all kinds of crazy commercials and movies and all kinds of things.
Tim and Eric's Crimbus special.
He's in all kinds of stuff, but we love Pat, and he's such a favorite of ours in every way. And I'm just so excited that that's how. Actually, you know what? Pat's not on our wall of fame.
What?
How is that?
Okay, I gotta take care of that. This is awkward.
Just to bring this around, so Pat took me on a crazy whirlwind tour of Los Angeles.
Yes.
To Batman's cave, the Hanna-Barbera building, just like it was like this. Turn left. No, turn right. So we're just driving around with me in a rental car, like doing around with Rusty Blazenhoff. And
hey, Rusty.
We ended up in front of the Brady house. I have a picture of myself.
Way to bring it together.
I have a picture of myself taken by Pat Jankowitz in front of the actual Brady house. While and you're not, obviously they don't really want people like up in their lawn and stuff. And Pat's like, they don't care. Just get up there. So that was a fun day.
Pat just followed me on Twitter, which was really nice.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he is.
I've been hearing stories about him for years, obviously.
And you've never met Pat.
And I've never met him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, he's great.
He's played Bigfoot more than once.
Wow.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I remember that he was recently in a commercial. It was either for a bank or something else. And he was playing sort of a torture victim. And it's always fun to spot Pat Jankowitz in something. Because he never tells us when he's in anything. So then all of a sudden you just see him.
Yes. So
we need to get that signed.
You're right. Headshot. What am I thinking?
All right. Well, we went off on a Pat Jankowitz tangent. So.
Always. That's always what happens when his name comes up.
See, and all we're trying to do is get famous people to send us pictures.
And now I know we've got people who we haven't tapped into our current resources.
Yeah.
We haven't used what we have.
Yeah.
So, the Yodelling Pickle.
Oh yeah, the Yodelling Pickle. Anywho.
Hef just looked down at a picture of the Yodelling Pickle, and I went, oh.
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
I don't know what else there is to say. There are a few more products that the Yodel has been in.
Yes, there are. Go ahead.
One is Yodeling Bacon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which didn't do that well, surprisingly, because it was during kind of the bacon craze. I guess it was kind of on the tail end of the bacon craze.
Yodeling is popular and bacon is popular.
Yeah.
So we'll put those two things together and fail.
Yeah. The other is a Yodeling Pickle Christmas tree ornament.
Oh, right.
That's motion detector.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you hang it on your Christmas tree. Someone walks by or sneaks up to look at the presents or whatever, and it goes off at Yodels.
And of course, the pickle on the Christmas tree has an old tradition that's from the old country where you would hide a pickle on your tree. And the person to spot it, I don't know, they get a prize or get first present or get something.
Is that a real thing?
That is a real thing.
Okay.
That's where the pickle on the Christmas tree comes from. It's not just some random pickle, yodeling pickle on a Christmas tree.
I thought we made it up, to be honest. I really
No,
did.
that's real. He doesn't. We do have some fictitious holidays and other things that we do, so you're not out of line on that. But this particular thing is real.
Yeah. It's Christmas morning. Someone hide the pickle.
Yeah, it's hide the pickle on Christmas morning. So that's gone well. Are there any others that I'm forgetting?
Other
yodeling products?
Not with that sound.
I don't think so.
No, but pickles continue to be a thing. So we have like other pickle items like pickle socks, pickle
bandages,
pickle candy canes, like pickle.
We have a pickle air freshener coming out soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of pickle things. I think, are we doing a pickle scarf? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have the pickle socks yet.
Yeah, the pickle socks are coming. They're on their way.
Yeah.
But there's.
We used to have finger pickles, like little finger puppets that were pickles.
Oh yeah, we had finger pickles, and then we had tiny terrified pickles.
Oh yeah.
Remember those little? You could
the
put
pickle
them.
pult.
Yeah, we had the pickle pult. Aw, that was a good item.
So
it would fling pickles at you.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
It's like a little catapult gun, and that's why we made the terrified pickles, because obviously if you put a pickle in a catapult, it would be terrified.
Yeah.
They're scared.
Yeah.
If it was personified at all.
Yeah. I like it. I have never seen that product. I'd like
really?
to. Yeah.
Oh. All right, we'll show it to you.
Thanks.
Once.
For more information about the products mentioned on today's podcast, go to McPhee.com. That's MCPHEE.com. For more information about the man behind the yodel, go to joeactor.com. We'd love it if you would recommend this podcast to a friend who might enjoy it, or just leave us a review on iTunes. If you'd like to email us, you can do it at unicorn@mcphee.com, or just leave a comment on the corresponding blog post. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it.